Just on the screen.
All right. All right. Welcome. This is the final race of the 1972 BRSCC Formula 5000 Championship at Classic Motorsport Hub. Good evening. Oh, you don't want that to happen during the race, Mr. Gillett. My name is Pascal Mikula. I'm joined by Jack Morelli in the booth, and of course our trusty old Eugene behind the camera. And I didn't even know we would get this far. It's the 14th and final race of the 1972 Formula 5000 Championship at CMH. And today, the first year-long title of CMH Racing is going to be decided. Jack, I did tell you before what's going on, so let's just have a quick look at the driver standings as we go into this one.
Yes. As you can see, you, Pascal, and Joe are very close together. There's like 5 points different, if my math are correct. Yes, that is 5 points, which means that depending on the positions you guys take, it could potentially end up with Joe Gillett taking the win from you. Which, it's not, you know, it's close. It's very close. We're going to have to see how the race goes. Either way, in third place, we have, lagging a bit behind, Edis Batards with 40 points, followed by Koroev with 39 points. Again, these two are also very close. Then we have Bernardino with 20 points, Guerrero 19 points, again another one that's very close. Centorame, 1 point behind in 7th place. Coletta with 15 points. Johnson, I'll never learn that, with 9 points, sharing the position with Gustavus Buro also with 9 points. Then we have Yahoda with 6 points, McHugh from Ireland with 5 points, Gomez with 5 points as well, Oboyski with also 5 points, so again, more people tying for that position, followed by Owen Potter with 4 points, Jessica Pelletier with 4 points, Damir Kuratko with 3 points, Matthew Sibanyoni with 3 points as well, Cesarius
Slapinski
with 2 points. I'm never going to be able to pronounce that. And then we have Steve Velocity and Adil Sahi, both with 1 point. So overall, you can kind of see with the standings that they're all bunched up, basically in different groups, and it can kind of mean anything, but at the same time, you can tell that the first group, Pascal and Joe, are just far ahead from everybody else, so they have it in the bag. The question is whether Joe is going to be able to overtake Pascal with this race.
Well, speaking of that, like, we have two groups that are getting decided today. Like, first off, it's of course the title, which is, these 5 points, the fight for the crown, as we would call it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, third place, which is between Edis Battars, who's not driving, and German Korev. So speaking of which, yes, the fight for the crown between myself and Joe, as you know, is 61 versus 56 points. And we have a double points race today with 18 points going to the winner, and then 12, 8, 6, 4, 2 for the rest of the top 6 finishers. With that, what that means is that myself, I have to finish within 5 points of Joe in order to retain or in order to claim the title. If I finish 5 points behind Joe, which isn't really possible, but only like 6 points behind him, then he's got it. And yeah, the rest basically means we got a little guest down here, so I'm just gonna pull him in while Jack, you talk about the second slide we got there. So we'll just
Absolutely.
wait until you're done, and then we'll have a chat with Joe Gillett.
Okie dokie. As you can see, if Gillett wins and takes 18 points, he's the champion. That's pretty much it. He's going to take the title. If he finishes second, that's 12 points, and he has to hope that Mikula does not finish higher than 4th place. Otherwise, there's going to be a 5 points difference, and Mikula is going to be able to take the win. If he finishes with 8 points, that is 3rd place, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is 3rd place. That means that Mikula has to either finish 6th or outside of the points in order for Gillett to become the champion. And the last position where Gillett could potentially snatch the title from Pascal would be 4th place, which gives him 6 points. And that is absolutely the last chance that he has to score this win. And he has to hope, obviously, that Mikula does not score any points. So it's gonna have to be a lot lower down the grid in order for Joe Gillett to snatch the victory. So he needs to really plan it ahead, and we really have to see what's gonna happen. But why don't we ask him directly, since he's over here with us?
Well, he's got some issues hearing us, so I just told him to restart his Discord, so he'll be back in just a bit. Meanwhile, yeah, as you said, 18 points, then it doesn't matter where I finish. Like, I can finish second, and he's still champion because of the 6-point difference between 1st and 2nd place.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, if there were a possibility for a 5-point difference to be in between 2 positions, he would still win. That's the thing on countback, because if we tie, the countback, the tiebreaker is who won the most races. Joe won 4 races in this season. I won 3. So he would win on that behalf. The thing is, though, as you mentioned, there's only even numbers between the positions. So it's either 1 point between Joe and myself, or 1 point between Joe and myself.
Well, that's one way of saying it.
Yeah. Okay. Now back to the track. Back to the on-track action. We're currently in qualifying, and as you can see on the top, it's pretty close. Although I need to check, where's Joe? Why is Joe not? Did Joe leave the server? He did. 4 minutes left to go. But what I can tell you is Joe was in 3rd place. 3rd or 4th place on the grid currently. So it's currently tied between myself and Centorame, who, as you may remember from Hockenheim, he was the guy that spun in the last lap, lost the wheel, and then, got his car back to finish. What was it, 3rd or 4th? So very, he knows how to drive a car fast. That's definitely for sure. Korev is in 3rd place currently. Somewhere around there is Joe Gillett as well. 4th place Lucas Gomez, 5th place Matthew Sibanyoni, 6th place Anderson Bernardino, and 7th place currently is Matthew Oboyski. We're still missing Steve Velocity, who claims his wheel is not working properly, so there might be something wrong there. But that's the one you don't want to slow down there like that if your car's behind you. But okay, never mind. Yeah, speaking of which, as I said, this is the 2nd time, or the 3rd time actually this year we go to Brands Hatch with these cars. And there goes Joe for a second. He will be back shortly, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's have a quick look at the track map. People who were here in the first race will remember it, but for those who don't, let's have a look for Brands Hatch.
It looks like a hook. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It looks like a hook, but Either way, Brands Hatch, located in Kent, United Kingdom, has a length of 4.2 kilometers or 2.6 miles. It's got 9 corners in total. The race is going to be 40 laps, which means 170 kilometers in total for this race on a track that looks like a hook. Honestly, I kind of like it. There's a lot of fast sweeping corners in there, along with some really tight airpins. This could be interesting.
It is tricky. It is a bit tricky, especially the first corner, because you're coming there with like a lot of. You're coming there with like a lot of speed on the front straight, like 220, 230 kilometers an hour. You go into paddock bend. It's very tricky. It's very tight. You can easily lose control.
Oh
now,
yeah, I can see some trouble into turn 1.
Yep. Now, I'll have a look. I don't know. Wait, hold on. I'll just quickly pull Joe down into the green room. Maybe we can hear him there, because I really wanted to get a few words from him as far as the battle is concerned. Hold on. Okay. Now, I guess we'll be doing the stream in here now. because there's something wrong in the booth with the permissions. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Jack, we got Joe Gillett here, who is the predator, basically chasing the cup, and he looking really good in the last few races, and he's got the home advantage as well because we're at Brands Hatch.
Well, not only that, but you're also the prey, and you're also in here. So I wanna make this a bit more interesting than usual. Is there anything you two want to say to each other before the race starts?
I'd just like to say good luck, because I think you deserve it just as much as I do. We both won races, we both had good battles, so best of luck.
You may want to rejoin the server, Joe, because the qualifying is over and I don't know where you qualified. Where were you when you left? On what position, actually?
I was 4th behind German by like 2 tenths.
Okay, so I'll remember that. All right. What I want to say to Joe, I can't say that on the air, can I? No, just kidding. Well, good luck to you as well. Especially given we're in the good old United Kingdom, and it's Brands Hatch. You probably know that track a bit better than I do. So the fact that you qualified 4th doesn't mean anything, because I know that you can come even from a bad qualifying position to just take the W away from me when I'm thinking I've got it in the bag. So I think we'll only know in about an hour who's going to come out on top and who doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be very predictable, because it's very hard to find your breaking points here, and I've never been a very good qualifier, so hopefully I can work on it in the race.
Especially because we got like 2 spanners in the works as well, with Gentorami and Korev. Gentorami is returning for the first time since Hockenheim, so he hasn't been a factor at all. Now he's here, qualifies 2 tenths behind me. He may just go out and be like, yeah, you know what, I kind of want to win as well. Anyway, I think it's gonna be interesting. 40 laps, make sure you got enough fuel.
Yes, of course.
You wouldn't want to run out of fuel on a track like this.
You don't want to run out of fuel with 1 lap to go, I can tell you that.
Why do you sound so menacing?
I don't know. Anyway, okay, Joe, best of luck to you. I'll make sure to put you in P4 during the warm-up, so you just need to rejoin the server quickly, as I said. And yeah, I'll mute myself. So Jack, you will be in charge of commentating this. Well, I hope it's not gonna turn out a crap show, but it's gonna be good.
Nice.
All right, see you after the race. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back on the air. Everything seems to be working fine.
So that was Joe Gillett. I'm waiting. Why is it waiting for Sim? Good gosh, net. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for Joe to rejoin the server. And oh, what did it just do? My game just. Oh wait, no, stop! Don't. My Steam has. Okay.
It's the technical
Yes.
issues that make this fun.
Yeah, it is. It surely is.
Not only are you racing against other people, you're also racing against your own computer game.
Okay. All right. What are your predictions for this event, Mr. Morelli?
Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. Centorama qualified second and not too far away from you. I think 0.2 of a second, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
So he's pretty close. He's pushing that car. And he knows how to drive. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Centorama to possibly throw a spanner in your works, if you know what I'm saying. It could potentially cause some trouble for you guys, especially since Joe is starting in 4th place, correct?
Yes.
So that means he's only got Kodoev to deal with, and then it's going to be a 3-way up the top. This could be interesting. I don't know. There's just too many drivers that could take it. There's just too many variables. Now, I don't know. I know it's going to be a brilliant race because everyone's going to be racing for, well, the race itself, but you two, you and Joe, are going to be racing for the title itself. And Centorama might just want to mess with you a little bit because of that. Or maybe he'll back off and he'll let you do your own thing while he stands back and maybe is content with just 3rd place. I don't know. I honestly don't know. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yes, we'll see about that. Yeah, the thing is, what I expect Joe to definitely put up a challenge because he's, he needs. His safe bet is simply if he wants to make absolutely 100% sure to get the title, he has to go for the win.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't win, there's always a chance that I finish in a position where I'm just like, nah, to kind of put it like that. But definitely, Centorama is definitely a factor because we haven't seen him race for 3 races. We haven't seen him since Hockenheim, and there's the first bunch of cars going out of pits, and that's German Korev already smoking up his tires. So, German, why smoke? But yeah, he may just be that, that player 3 who may go for the win while the big dogs play it safe. I expect Centorama and Korev to be a major players for the win. I don't think if we go for the safe option, I don't think that Joe and myself are going to be fighting for the win, but more like fighting for 3rd place. Because that's really all we need. Korev himself only needs 2 points, so a 6th place finish to get past 80's Bottas in the standings to clinch 3rd place in the standings. So he's got his own goal as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's have a quick look on board with Matthew Oboyski while we go around this track. So we're currently in the 2nd sector, very fast right-hand sweeper. I actually don't know the name of that. And that's not the way the track goes there.
That's a bit wide, yes.
Oh, he slows down to let Korev by, I think. There goes the Russian. Down that second right-hander, of which I still don't know the name. Got a little downhill up to Dingledale Corner. That's what it's called.
Dingledale.
Well, I know Dingledale Corner. I know what's the final corner. I don't remember it. I need to look it up because I think Steve Velocity said something about that. Yeah, no idea. No idea. I think Joe Gillett is joined. No, it's Steve Velocity who is here, and Joe Gillett.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. And yeah, as I say that, Matthew Oboyski is going through Paddock Hill Corner.
And
Okay,
then number 9.
Yes. Anyway, yes. With that being said, now we got Joe Gillett and Steve Velocity. Steve Velocity in the Chevron. Oh, Steve, please, no.
Korev going a little bit too wide around that corner. I can see what you meant when you said that people might not be able to slow down for these corners because of the straightaways.
Hmm.
I can see that. Also because Korev seems to be sliding all over the place whenever he's going around a bend.
Yeah. No, I just watched Steve Velocity got a vehicle collision mismatch. I told him just to up his video settings a bit. Anyway, yes, while we wait for the recon laps to begin, I think it's time for a quick ad break. Because we just got a new bunch of commercials, so let's go.
Oh boy.
We'll be back in just a minute after this from your local stations.
How can we satisfy you?
Well, I really love McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Well, how about a double cheeseburger?
Ooh, can we add some greens and some reds?
Fresh lettuce and tomatoes? You got it. It's called the Daily Double.
Must be double the price.
Nope, just 99 cents.
Are you kidding?
Just 99 cents.
You know I really love fries, too.
Okay, and a Coke for just $2.99.
Now that's a work of art.
The 99-cent Daily Double. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Explosive secrets of clear and present danger on entertainment night.
Ernest Goes to Jail continues, starring Jim Varney.
Blindfold, monsieur?
No.
Cigarette?
No.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Pepperoni and cheese.
Tombstone pizza, Pierre!
What do you want on your tombstone? Real meat, real cheese. Much better tasting than pizzas made with imitation cheese. So what do you want on your tombstone?
Napkin?
No.
Looks like she's wearing fakes. But it's not. It's Forty's mascara.
Oh, my shirt, so sexy, it hurts.
The lash is so big, your every one lash looks like 3.
I'm too sexy for my head, what you think about
Lash is so big, you'll swear it's fake. But it's Forty's mascara from Ultima 2.
Sexy Toad is yours for just $12.50 with any Ultima 2 purchase at JCPenney.
I had a young couple from Sweden come into my store that was interested in buying a neon sign.
They had mailboxes, etc. We can pretty much pack and ship anything.
The first question they asked me is, how do I get it home?
It was a very fragile item.
I made an instant decision to call mailboxes, etc. my buddy Norm.
The item arrived there with no problem whatsoever.
Norm's Norm. And he's just a cool guy.
Give me a break.
Depend on mailboxes, etc. It's not what we do, it's how we do it.
And there we go, we're back. Welcome back, yes, to the Brands Edge Formula 5000 race that we were having tonight. This evening, rather. Or today, depending on where you are. We are about to start the warm-up if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Rather, they were recon lap. And here's Zaboyski going around the track, trying to get a better feel for that corner. Seems to be going wide while going around that corner, but he's getting the hang of it.
He's got 40 laps to learn it, basically. It's important.
Oh yeah, I mean, you don't really want to learn a track while you're racing. That kind of makes things a bit more complicated, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, you got a point. Anyway, the checkered flag is out for the warm-up session, so next session is the race. As you know, cars will start in their pits and go out on recon laps. Oh, and off goes Zaboyski. They should, or are they able? I hope they're able to repair that suspension in the nick of time. And yeah, so he goes straight into the pits. Pretty sure Colin Chapman's guys won't be too happy with that smashed up Lotus. Yeah,
Oh,
anyway.
Absolutely not.
Anyway, 40 laps. Here we go. Cars are now in the pits. No one is crashing, and that is looking to be good. 26 seconds until the pit lane is open, and well, we can have another look at the truck, at everything that's going on, because the pits are now opening in about 3 seconds, and they're open. 10 minutes until the pits close. Well, talk us through it, Jack.
Well, this is the warm-up session now. The drivers are going to have to, well, do their best to not crash those fancy cars, which are quite complicated to drive because this is Formula 5000. So they don't really have things like ABS, stability control. I'm surprised they even have seatbelts to begin with. So taking them around fast corners is not going to be easy. You're going to have to set up your car with some downforce. However, this track does have a lot of straightaways, which means if you have too much downforce, someone's going to overtake you on the straights. So it's a bit of a balancing game here, and we're going to have to see how each driver plays it out. In the meantime, we are on board with Pascal, I think. Yeah, that would be Pascal. Going around the track, trying to get a feel for it. Be on the grass. But otherwise seems to not be having any troubles with it. Again, very fast corners and a couple of very nasty 90-degree corners and hairpins. So again, could be troublesome to some people, some drivers that don't have the correct downforce setup for these cars, especially if they're set up for the straightaways. They're not going to be having anything on the corners. Number 4, no grip, and that's not good. Meanwhile, it seems like Mikula and Velocity have pulled into the pits and stopped. Meanwhile, Centorame and Gomez, Centorame has let Gomez go around him. It seems like he's had enough of the track. Well, buddy, you got 40 laps to go still. And Gomez seems to have stopped on the side of the track. No idea why.
Looks like people are doing a bit of practice starts. Like Centorame just in front of me is doing a practice start.
Oh yeah.
The end of the pit lane is a really good place to do that because the elevation between the end of the pit lane and the start-finish line is not too different.
So you can practice the start here. Okay, that's good to know. That means hopefully the drivers are going to be able to take off the line without much trouble. Meanwhile, here's Centorame going around the track. Bit sideways there, but nothing he can handle. Going under the big shell sign. And into one of the fast corners now. Again, these are the corners that if your car is not set up properly, you either go wide or you spin out. So this is really a game of precision now. Trying to keep the car under control while also at least attempting to keep some speed up during those corners. It's a balancing act that not very easy. It's not very easy to pull off, I'll tell you that much. However, it seems like Centorame is having no trouble doing that.
And people also need to be careful, of course, during the first lap of the race. Like, you can do whatever you want during the formation lap, during the recon lap. You're going to start the race on cold tires and cold brakes no matter what. So all of the recon lap and warm-up lap, the burnouts, the donuts, hopefully not donuts, but in the swerving back and forth, I would almost say it's really just for show, kind of, because in the end you just end up with cold tires anyway in the first corner. Hey, I mean, look, I'm not complaining, it looks cool.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining either, but people still need to, probably kick the habit a little bit. Because I did the same during my race with at the airport. If you can remember that.
Yeah, the DTM race, I remember.
Yeah, the DTM race. But I digress. People are trying to probably simulate what it would be like once they've got the brakes and the tires warmed up so that they know how much they can push their cars.
Yeah, that's going to be incredibly important for those in contention for the win. That is the top four really. So myself, Centorame, Korev, and Gillett.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And even more important for myself and Gillett because, well, obviously we're fighting for a title here.
Yeah, you've got the entire title up for grabs right now.
Yeah.
So this race is a bit more important to you and Gillett than it is to Centorame and Korev.
And especially because it's a double points final race.
Like
if it were single points, I wouldn't be too worried because a 5-point difference is difficult to overcome in the normal race. But double points, double the opportunity to lose it.
Double your points, double your fun. That's how I see it, at least.
And double the trouble.
Oh yeah.
So we got all the cars coming out of the pits now. Currently. It's got Lucas Gomez right behind Joe Gillett in the second sector. Joe's definitely having a look how his car handles. He's got 3 minutes. He still got 3 minutes to get into the pits, do any changes he needs to do, and go back out on the track. Because in 3 minutes and 10 seconds, the pit lane will be closed, and we got Matthew Sibanyoni, Steve Velocity, and yours truly on the starting grid already. So we're ready. We're ready to mingle and tingle. 5 minutes left until the start of the formation lap.
Oh boy.
How's the adrenaline?
Is Gomez going through the pits?
Yes, he is. Oh, pretty quickly. He should slow down a tad. And he does.
No,
Very
he's
nice.
stopping in the pits.
Oh, okay, so he's got some more changes to do.
I mean,
looks like he asked his mechanics to do something more significant on the car to improve its handling.
Good for him, because as I've said, this track is a balancing act, simply because you have a lot of fast corners, but also 2 or 3 very nasty corners. And then you have a lot of straights. So if your car is not balanced to take hold of this in, then you're not going to be having a lot of fun with this race.
Yep.
I mean, we will, watching the race, but yeah, so spinning out is not very fun for the driver.
Exactly. So there's still... hold on.
Well, it seems like Gillett is catching up to Centorame now at incredibly high speeds. Despite this being a warm-up, it seems like Gillett really wants to chase Centorame. He's probably trying to scare him.
Yeah, giving him a little bit of a taste.
Oh yeah.
Like...
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't blame him actually. I would probably do the same. I would just, you know, show him what's gonna happen if he doesn't get out of the way. So, you know, Gillett seems to have pulled over in the pits.
Yep, and there's 1 minute until the pits are closed. Centorame has just pulled onto the grid. It's only Korev and Gillett that are currently still in the pits. Gillett is now leaving.
Yeah, Gillett has left just now.
And Korev, well, we all know Korev is a bit always a bit. Oh, there he is. His engine just fired up, so his mechanics were there. There he goes. 25 seconds to go.
Oh boy, he did it just in the nick of time.
20 seconds to go until the pits are closed. 10 seconds now. And as we're on the starting grid, again, I may just put your attention to the starting lights. Another one is about to go out right now. Isn't it beautiful?
Here comes Bernardino. He seems to be lining up to the grid.
Another last word of advice. Good luck to everyone. Remember to stay cool during the first, well, let's say the first 40 laps.
Now, I wonder, why would you say that?
20 seconds to go until engine start, so people may already turn on the ignition and just be ready. 10 seconds. And we have about the final light, the second to last light is about to go out. And there come the engines. Listen to that symphony in V8.
Oh yeah.
And with that, I say thank you to everyone who raced at this series for the 14 races we did. Thank you very much for everyone that showed up. And, well, whatever else can I say other than good luck, have fun, and rock on. Jack, it's your... This is your place now.
Thank you, thank you. I'll take over gladly. So the cars are lining up now. There's just one car left coming up to the grid right now. That would be Koroev. I think that is Koroev, yes. Now that the cars are lined up, we're ready to start. There they go. There's a formation left. Koroev just skidding along the way, almost spinning out already. He really just dumped the clutch, revved the engine and dumped the clutch and started. That seems to do the trick. Go around the first airpin, which is a bit of a tricky spot. Here comes the third corner and the back straight, the very short back straight, into a rather fast corner, left-hander, and onto the very long straight where you can really gain some massive speeds around here. You're gonna have to slow down because there's a 90-degree corner coming up, and we've seen people go way too wide and into the grass. There they go. Around another fast sweeping corner. Mikula going a bit sideways there. Here's the second to last corner. This one tightens up a bit at the end. started third to last, and this is the second to last, which is a 90-degree left-hander. Coming up to the straight. And into the last corner, up to the start-finish line. And there we go. Formation lap complete. It seems like Korev has to reverse a little bit to get into his position. And there they go. Green flag. The race has finally started. Now, Gillett is already side by side with Korev, trying to immediately take his position away. I mean, I'm not surprised considering the title is up for grabs if he does a good race. And he seems to have completed the overtake. What a brilliant maneuver right off the start. Korev doesn't seem to be too happy about that, as he's now about bumper to bumper with Gillett and catching up. Trentorama is in front of them, possibly slowing them down. Ooh, that was a bit squiggly there, Trentorama. But it seems to be able to keep Gillett at bay. Or will he, as they come into that the corner after the long straight. Gillett takes the inside and overtakes Trentorama. Korev goes wide, wide, wide and loses even more time. And now it seems like Trentorama is going to have to defend against Korev as it goes sideways across that corner. Lots of smoke coming out of these cold, cold tires. Meanwhile, we are now on board with Trentorama following Gillett as they approach the last corner. A bit of a tricky one considering the speed you're carrying. Here's the camera car from Korev, following very closely Trentorama, not happy about losing all those positions. Trentorama going a bit sideways there. Meanwhile, Mikula seems to have taken the opportunity to widen the gap to 2.1 seconds. Now this is a battle for second place, basically. Gillett wants to catch up with Pascal, however, he's got two other people to worry about behind him who are not too happy about the massive overtake that he did on the first lap. Korev being overtaken immediately after the first corner. Here they go on the long straight, carrying massive amounts of speed and into the corner. All of them are a bit sideways. Korev seems to be going a bit too wide. But that's not going to stop him as he's still following very close behind to Trentorama. There they go, second to last corner. Korev seems to be struggling a little bit with his car around the corners. However, he can catch up to Trentorama on the straights. As I come up the start-finish straight, and it seems like Velocity has retired already. I don't know what happened. Meanwhile, it seems like Gillett, Trentorama, and Korev are able to somewhat close the gap with Pascal, just ever so slightly. Although it seems to be a lot more stable now. However, what's even more stable is the gap between the three of them. Just look at them, they're just chasing each other down the track. Now the tactics here, you have a couple available. you either outdrive the guys behind you, like what just happened, Korev going wide into that corner, trying to keep up with Centorame, but yeah, that didn't work so well for him. Which brings me to the second tactic that you can use in this race, and that would be forcing your opponent to make a mistake. If he makes a mistake, you take his position, or you lose it. Depends on how it goes. However, no matter what, Gillett has closed the gap with Pascal. It is now down to 1.1 seconds. Centorame following closely behind with about half a second to spare. Meanwhile, Korev has fallen behind a lot due to that mistake he made going wide into that fast corner. There they go. This could potentially mean that we are going to see a three-way battle for first place. Because Centorame's got the cold attitude, the nerves of steel. Gillett has got the title to win, and Mikula has got the title to lose. So the three of them could spell trouble for that bunched up group up ahead. This could turn interesting. Here we are on board with Centorame, keeping up with Gillett around the fast corners on this portion of the track. Up to the very fast right-hander and into the 90-degree left, the second to last corner. Onto the straight now. Will he be able to catch up to Gillett? No, Gillett's car is too fast. Where on the last corner, going up into the start-finish straight, he seems to be able to close the gap a little bit, but then loses it again. It seems like his car is set up more for the downforce on the corners rather than the streamlined drag coefficient for the straightaways. You can clearly tell by how Gillett just takes off on him on any given straights, and how Centorame catches up to him on any corner. You can clearly tell that these two cars have been set up differently, and they are given different results. Now the question is, which one is going to be the correct setup for this track? Because of course everyone has their own ideas and opinions on how to set up the car for a track like this. However, they weren't racing when they set up the cars, so it could mean anything. They set up the cars in the way they like, and therefore they are now racing with them. It does seem like Pascal is able to defend himself a little bit and keeping the gap stable between him and Gillett. However, that means that Centorame could potentially take up on the distraction and maybe pull an overtake on them. We're gonna have to wait and see. However, it seems like the gap between these three is still stable, still around 1 second between each car, and still magnificent driving from all three of them. I say that, and Gillett has a big lockout moment. Centorame loses the tail a little bit on that one. There they go. Meanwhile, it seems like Korev might be catching up to them. I see the gap is closing ever so slightly between Korev and Centorame. However, the gap between him and Sibanyoni is all but widening, it seems, as he is now 18 seconds behind the lead. Which means we now have three groups now. We have three cars fighting for first place, or the podium rather, podium positions. And we have Korolev trying to catch up to them, right behind them, because of a mistake he made. Meanwhile, Gillett seems to be closing the gap big time. It is now down to 0.6 seconds. So he's really hammering that car right now, trying to catch up to Mikula. After Korolev, we have another group, which is Sibanyoni and Gomez, around 18.9 seconds and 21.7 seconds, racing for 5th position. And then we have the last two, Oboyski, 54 seconds behind, almost 55 seconds behind the lead, and Bernardino, who is currently 76.4 seconds behind the lead. So we have some groups going, some groups that could potentially fight for their own positions, which means entertainment. That's good. Meanwhile, we're now on board with Gillett, trying his damn best to catch up to Mikula. However, Mikula again seems to be able to defend himself rather well and keep some distance between him and the British driver behind him. Although it does seem like the two cars are set up rather similarly, I would say. Both of them manage to take corners quite well. Both of them have about the same speed on the straightaways. Meanwhile, it seems like Bernardino is pulled over. Probably to let the other cars pass, I would assume. I don't know why to pull over on the side of the track. That's a bit dangerous, but I digress. We go around the first corner. Gillett cuts it a little bit too much, if you ask me. Catching a bit of air while going over the curb. And into the airpin. Meanwhile, Centorame is now literally just behind Gillett. I think his nerves of steel have finally paid off. The Professor, as we've dubbed him a couple of races earlier, is really showing what you can do when you keep your cool. As they go along the long stretch into the fast right-hander. Gillett going a bit sideways there, but managing to keep the car under control. And Centorame just right behind him, waiting for an error. And just over the horizon you can see Korolev just lurking back there, possibly waiting as well for a mistake from one of these drivers who are currently fighting for the podium. Meanwhile, it seems like Oboyski is pulling into the pits. Bit of a weird time to be pulling into the pits right now, unless it's damaging his car. There they go, the podium racers going around the airpin. Bit of a messy corner for Gillett, but being that messy, actually blocked Centorame from overtaking him. There's Korolev again, just back there, lurking, being a creep almost. Centorame seems to have lost it a little bit on that corner, but he was able to keep it under control, and he is now attempting to catch up with Gillett. Meanwhile, it seems like Oboyski is still in the pits. So I'm guessing that he might be having some car trouble. And there's the leader, Pascal Mikula. And then Gillett and Centorame right behind him. I think Centorame is now done waiting, and he might be trying to draft the car in front of him in order to take him on the straight. And yes, he seems to be going for the maneuver, but he does not have the power to do it. It's just lacking the power to overcome that massive wing and all that downforce is put on his car to go around the corners. However, he does seem to be taking the inside line. Oh my god, he almost touched Gillett's back. That sounds a bit wrong. Whatever. Gillett seems to be having to fight the new competition now because Centrame is done waiting. And he really... Oh, he's gone off the grass a little bit. He's just pushing that car now. He's done waiting. He wants to overtake Gillett at every possibility that he gets. He just wants his position now. There to go around the fast corner. The thing is, Centrame's car is set up for the corners, not the straightaways. You can draft all you want. You're not going to overtake him if you lack the engine power to keep a little bit of that momentum going after you drafted. And I think Centrame is now aware of that. However, is going to be able to do anything with it. Meanwhile, Korev seems to have closed the gap by a lot. He is now just 3 seconds behind the lead. There to go into the airpin. Again, Centrame just trying to overtake, but he just doesn't have the opportunity to do so. Meanwhile, it seems like Korev just set the fastest lap. That's actually impressive. That means that he's catching up to the other drivers as Centrame goes sideways a little bit. But yes, Korev managed to set the fastest lap in the race for now. And he is still catching up to the other guys. So it might mean that this is going to be a 4-way battle soon, if it keeps his pace up. Guess we're gonna have to wait and see. There to go around the second to last corner. Mikula now able to build a bit of a gap between him and Joe Gillett. As Gillett is now distracted by defending his position from Centrame, who is drafting him again on the start-finish straight, almost going bumper to bumper. Let's see if he's going to take the inside line into the corner. No, he's not going to be able to overtake him. He's not going to be able to take the inside line because Gillett just shut the door right in front of him. As they now go around the airpin once again. Centrame is just right behind Gillett. He's not giving up that easy. He attempted a bit of an overtake there, but to no avail. Again, as I said earlier in the pre-race, it all comes down to car setup here. You've got a lot of corners, fast corners, which you're going to need a lot of downforce for. I say that as Centrame is now side by side with Gillett. Ooh, I think they touched a little bit. Centrame backed off now. But yes, that's what you get when you have a car that's set up for corners. Because yes, there are fast corners and tight corners that require downforce for you to be able to take at any sorts of speed. However, there's also really, really long straightaways where you need as much speed as you can. Meanwhile, Centrame seems to be going for another attack on Gillett. Fails to complete the maneuver to go up to the start-finish straight.
Here's one little thing we kind of forgot to mention earlier, and that's just biting me but now. Have we ever thought about tire wear for this race?
Not really, have we?
No. because you don't plan to pit, but the tires are definitely becoming an issue because you got a lot of quick corners, as you said, which put a lot of strain on your tires, which means you get a lot of temperature in them, which means they potentially are going to wear a lot. So I'm not saying we're going to see pit stops for tires, but we may see some people struggling at around about lap 30 to lap 35.
That could be a possibility.
Maybe.
It could be a possibility, which means the cars that have been set up for speed rather than cornering are going to be able to keep their tires cooler, therefore wear them out less, and have less trouble at the end of the race. That could be an interesting tactic going on there for Gillett. It all comes down to how Centrame plays it then. It's now bumper to bumper again with Gillett. Possibly attempting a maneuver now. He just lacks the speed. He's going up the outside. And nothing. He's gone wide. And Gillett was able to take the inside line and shut the door right in front of him. That's not going to stop Centrame as he is now right behind him again. Almost side by side into the first corner. Ooh, that could have been a massive crash. That was way too close. Onto the airpin. Both Gillett and Centrame seems to have taken a wider line there. Mikula just cashing in on that mistake. And building the gap even more. Here they go on the long stretch. Again, Gillett's car, which is set up for speed, is able to keep Centrame at bay on the straightaways. However, Gillett seems to be struggling a little bit with the corners. I say that as Centrame kicks his tail out a little bit. Either way, Centrame's car is set up for the corners themselves, so he manages to catch up to Gillett up until there's another straight. Then Gillett can just floor it. Meanwhile, it seems like Centrame is driving very aggressively. Now side by side with Gillett, taking the inside line into the last corner, going wide and off the track into the gravel and grass, almost crashing into Gillett. Korolev was able to cash on that mistake and overtake Centrame, and he is now side by side with Gillett. Where did he come from? That was just brilliant driving. But now Korolev is going to be fighting for what is that? Second place. Ooh, touching Gillett's back a little bit. Ooh. Centrame really not happy about any of that. Just catching up to them. It's almost side by side with Korolev taking the inside line. However, Korolev is able to go faster around the corner and shut the door right in front of Centrame. As they now go along the long stretch. And into the fast right-hander. Korolev going sideways a little bit. But managing to scare off Centrame a little bit with that maneuver. However, it does seem like Mikula was able to cash in on this opportunity and build a massive gap between him and Gillett. The gap is now 5.7 seconds. To come up the last corner. Korolev attempting to overtake Gillett, but lacking the speed to do so. Gets forced back behind. And into the path of... Ooh! Oh! Gillett's had a problem and crashed a little bit. He smashed his car against the wall on the start-finish straight. Possibly some contact between him and Korolev. Either way, he lost control and just went for the wall. Oh, I hope that doesn't mean his car's damaged from that. Let's see with the replay. Nope, he's done it all by himself. He just lost the tail end of his car and smashed it into the wall on the start-finish straight. However, he was able to regain control of the vehicle and keep on racing. However, Korolev cashed in on this opportunity, and I was not even considering this to be a possibility for this race because he's in second place now. I guess that's revenge for what happened at the start of the race. I can't blame him. Meanwhile, Centorame is almost 2 seconds behind Korolev, unable to keep up with the Russian. Gillett back there just trying his best to correct the mistake he's made and catch up to the other drivers. This could potentially cost him the championship, assuming everything goes well for Mikula. Crossing my fingers, don't worry. Centorame into the first corner and now into the hairpin. Gillett lurking back there, just crawling his way up to Centorame again. However, it seems like Korolev is able to keep Centorame at bay, or rather keep away from him. This I honestly did not expect. I did not even think that this was something like this could happen. Gillett losing control of his car and losing 2 positions to Korolev and Centorame. Centorame himself not making up that many positions since he was kind of caught into all that and had to slow down. Having no other way to go but to hit the brakes and look for the best. Korolev took that and just ran away with it. And now that the dust has settled, Korolev can now work towards catching up Mikula, which he seems to be doing slowly, but still managing to close the gap a little bit. It is now down to 3.7 seconds to the leader. While Centorame just simply cannot keep up with him. As the distance between these 2 cars keep on growing with each lap. Centorame losing the tail end again a little bit, going up into the long stretch. Possibly trying to catch up with Korolev. This is some impressive precision driving. They come up the second to last corner. Centorame touching the dirt a little bit, kicking up some dust. Under the Dunlop bridge and into the last corner, carrying massive amounts of speed for the start-finish straight. But he is just unable to catch Korolev, who's going like a bat out of hell. That was a bad mistake for Gillett. He keeps on losing ground between him and Centorame, possibly due to car damage from that crash. While Korolev is again clawing away at that gap between him and the leader Pascal Mikula. The gap is now down to 3.1 seconds. into the second to last corner. There they are. Under the Dunlop sign or bridge and into the last corner. Again, Centorame just managing to carry massive amounts of speed through the corners. However, he is unable to catch up to Korolev due to the downforce setup that he's using, possibly giving him an advantage in the corners, yeah, but drawing back on him on any straight. And as we've said earlier, more downforce could potentially mean faster wear on the tires, which means you're going to be struggling a lot more in the last 10 to 5 laps of the race, which could change everything if done correctly. But yes, it does seem like Korolev is still somewhat catching up to the lead, while Centorame is just unable to do anything about it. It's just sitting there, essentially, just driving his race now. Korolev closing the gap even more. It is now down to 2.8 seconds. As they go around the last corner and onto the start-finish straight. Gap is now 2.6 seconds. Korolev is just driving like a bat out of hell at this point. He really wants that first place. As Centorame seems to, again, be unable to do anything about it. However, it does seem like Gillett is losing ground to the cars in front of him. Again, could be down to suspension damage or tire damage or any other type of damage to this car due to that crash he had, which is very unlucky, if I say so myself. Just racing for second position and then suddenly your tail end kicks out and you smash into a wall. But that's kind of how Formula 5000 works. They're just slightly larger go-karts with massive V8 engines in them and the rear-wheel drive and their manuals. And they have no electronic controls. You're just driving a go-kart with a V8 engine. That's about as much as you can sum it up, really. So it all comes down to driver skill. If you don't have what it takes to drive one of these cars, then you're gonna have a bad time. Because the cars are always trying to kill you in Formula 5000. And that's just by their nature. You have a lightweight car with a big engine that makes a lot of power going through the back wheels. That's a recipe for something squiggly, as Korolev demonstrates going around that corner, losing the tail end a little bit. Nothing too serious anyway, as he is able to keep Centorame at bay. However, Sibanyoni is now coming up, which is possibly going to slow down Korolev if he doesn't let him through. Which means Centorame could catch up. I'm sorry, but Gomez seems to have retired as well. I don't know what happened. Oh. It seemed like it's gone straight. Oh, I think He might have gotten disconnected from the server, possibly technical issues. Anyway, Korolev is now past Sibanyoni. Centorame managed to close the gap a little bit between him and Korolev. However, he's now got to deal with Sibanyoni himself, so it could slow him down even more. Which will mean Korolev would be able to build a much bigger gap and just destroying any chance that Centorame ever catching up to him. I say that, but now Centorame is right behind him. All of them are about evenly spaced out between themselves. 2.5 seconds between Mikula and Korolev, and another 2.5 seconds between him and Centorame. So now it all comes down to who can catch up who. Sibanyoni is still behind him. Not that he can do anything anyway, he's a couple of laps down. Actually, tell a lie, it's just 1 lap down. It's Oboyski that is 4 laps down. Interesting. Guess that massive pit stop he had earlier in the race really did not pay off. Into the first corner. And into the airpin they go. Desperately trying to catch up to Mikula. However, Mikula seems to be able to just essentially floor it in his car and keep some distance between him and Korolev, which is essentially what Korolev is doing to Centorame now, as the gap between the two of them is widening as well. A bit squiggly there. As they go into the second fast right-hander. Up to the second last corner. Korolev chipping away at the gap, which is now down to 2 seconds rather, sorry. I was reading Centorame's gap to the leader. And again, Centorame seems to be keeping it consistent. He is still about 4 or 5 seconds behind Pascal. However, Korolev is just closing the gap. It is now 1.3 seconds between him and Mikula. They're now very close together, which could spell trouble for the German. The German as in Pascal. Not the German as in German Korolev. Anyway, I've got the top 3, the laps for the top 3, which are 133.35, 132.2, and 132.5. Which means Korolev really is catching up to Mikula just by driving like crazy, really pushing that car to the limit. Just look at that, the gap is now down to 1 second. He's right behind him. Meanwhile, Centorame is just barely keeping up. 5 seconds behind the leader. 0.7 seconds between him and Mikula. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting because Korolev could soon be able to attempt an overtake on Pascal. Which would mean Korolev would take first place. Into the first corner. And up to the hairpin. Centorame just back there. Trying his best to no avail. As Mikula now seems to be aware of the competition behind him and decides to floor it. It's essentially. And try to keep away from Korolev. But will that be enough? That's the question with these races. Is it in any way, shape or form always enough? Oh, there seems like there's some debris on track. Like a blue nose cone or something like that. That could mean trouble for some guys behind them. They're battling for a position. Guy in front of you moves over to avoid the debris, and you just slam into it at full speed. Ooh, that would suck. That would really suck.
Looks like Centorame went off as well. He's now 23 seconds back and behind Gillett.
Yeah, I've just noticed. Centorame has
that
retired.
That blue nose cone may belong to Matthew Oborski, who was very slow out of the road's hairpin.
Possibly. However, it seems like Centorame lost control of his car and crashed it, losing the nose cone and the wheel. His car is trashed. No, that was a massive crash for Centorame. And he was going really well. Which now means that Gillett is in third place. Wow, that was a very nasty crash. Yeah, I wonder what happened. Probably tire wear. Yeah, tire wear eventually bites everyone in the butt. Speaking of, Korolev is now behind Mikula, 0.6 seconds behind him. He could potentially attempt an overtake soon. Let's see. As they go into the last corner. Up onto the start-finish straight. Let's see, will Korolev be able to do anything about Mikula being in first place? No. I think not. As they go around the first corner, Korolev just behind Mikula. Ooh, Korolev going wide there. I wonder if he's going to be able to do anything on the straightaways. He seems to be struggling with the corners, struggling with grip. But it does seem to be a lot faster on the straights than Pascal is. This could be an interesting battle. An interesting battle that Gillett is not going to be taking part in since he is 25 seconds behind the leader. Just the gap between him and the leader just kept on growing ever since that crash. Again, Korolev catching up to Mikula. Going into the last corner, massive amounts of speeds being carried here. Into the start-finish straight. Oborski just pulling out the pits. And yes, it seems like that was his nose cone. It was blue with white lines, and he's got a blue car with white lines. So that might have been his. But I digress. We've got Korolev to watch out for. As it's not giving up that easy on that position, closing the gap even more. They're almost bumper to bumper now as they go up into the long stretch. Mikula seems to be pulling away from him. Korev probably lacking the power, but catching up quickly on the corners, going a bit sideways and a bit wide there. Another fast corner. Into the second last corner. As they both are coming up to Bernardino, who is in 6th place, and he just pulls over to the side of the track on the grass. Fair enough. Anything to get people by when you get the blue flag, I guess. Either way, Korev keeping up with Pascal now. He seems to be taking a different approach, I would say. Kinda pulling back a little bit, but not too much that you don't pressure the car in front of you into making a mistake. I think that's what he's doing right now, which is a perfectly viable tactic. Either that or he's having some trouble with the car because the gap is now building up even more. It is now 1.1 seconds. And just a lap earlier, not even that, just a sector before that, it was down to 0.6 seconds. So I don't know what's going on through the Russian's mind. But whatever it is, it seems to be working out for Mikula, at least for now, as he's now building the gap again up to 1.5 seconds. By this point, the tires should be well worn. I don't exactly know on what lap we're on.
We're right now with 10 laps to go. It's lap 31 out of 40. We have exactly 10 laps to go.
Oh, brilliant. That means that I was right. The tires are going to be well worn now, which could spell trouble for anyone. Especially for people who had their cars set up for downforce. Since you have more downforce during the corners, you're going to be wearing the tires out even more. We're going to have to wait and see what happens in these last 10 laps. So go around the fast right-hander. Korev going sideways on both corners. That really goes to show that the tires are just almost ready to give up the ghost at this point. They're now both coming up to... who is that? Bernardino again. What? He's been lapped twice. My oh my. Well, that was interesting. It's still, both Bernardino and Oboyski still didn't unlap themselves from Centorame, who retired from the race due to a massive crash earlier. A crash that took his front nose cone and one of his wheel, just completely tearing it off. That was a brilliant crash. Oh, Sibanyoni has crashed as well. He's lost a wheel! What happened? Coming up to the fast corner. Oh, he just lost it. He just locked up and went straight into the wall. That's what worn tires do to you. You just ever so slightly touch the brakes. The tires are worn out, they lock up, and you just go straight into a wall. Which reminds me, it's not just the brakes that are important on a car, any car, whether it's a Formula 5000 car or a normal road-going car. It's not just the brakes, it's the tires. The brakes are only there to lock up the tires. If you get better tires, you have more grip, and if the brakes are able to lock that up, it means better braking. Now, with that little tangent out of the way, I want to point out the fact that Gillett is still losing ground from the leader. The gap is now 30 seconds, almost 31. Meanwhile, Korolev is keeping it stable at around 1 second, 0.8 seconds now. He seems to be closing in and then letting go, closing in and then letting go again. Just to keep the pressure on Mikula, it would seem. As it goes wide and sideways onto that corner. Mikula keeping it under control, but slow. Ooh, that was a bit quirky of Korolev. He seems to have had a bit of a snap from his tail end, making him go off the track a little bit further up the road and forcing him into the grass. I wonder if he's going to be able to recover from that mistake and close the gap, since Mikula was now able to cash it in and take off on him. However, it seems like Korolev is just driving way too fast for Mikula. He's just right behind him. Just right behind him, trying to catch up to him. I don't know what to think. The gap is now half a second, or thereabouts. However, Pascal seems to be just driving consistently and driving like he's alone on the track. Possibly saving him from making a mistake, from being pressured into making a mistake by Korolev. However, the Russian could still very much catch up to him and eventually overtake him, forcing Mikula's hand into doing something aggressive, as they're now literally bumper to bumper up to the second to last corner. Look at them go. Mikula going a little bit too wide. Gap is now 0.3 seconds into the last corner. Literally bumper to bumper racing now. They are essentially right behind each other now. Just look at that. Korolev is now close enough to draft off of Mikula's car, which means on a straightaway he could be able to pull a maneuver if he doesn't slide out again like that. Again, the tail end kicking out because the tires are just worn out. We are now on the essentially the last couple of laps by now for this race, which means these tires are done.
Well, 6 laps to go still.
6 laps to go. Just 6 laps to go. We're close to the finish line. The tires are done. There's no other way of putting it. These tires are just done for. You mess up, you have no grip to correct your mistake. Which, again, could be the tactic Korolev is going for, because he is now just right behind Mikula. He has been right behind Mikula the entire lap now. Just almost kissing his bumper, his rear bumper. That came out a bit wrong. Oh well. coming into the last corner and up into the start-finish straight. Let's see if Korev is going to be able to pull any funny maneuvers around here. Into the first corner. Oh my god! Oh my god, he just crashed into Mikula at full speed. He was not able to brake in time and lost the nose cone. Just slammed into the back of Pascal. And now Korev is struggling to keep the car under control. Let's watch that again. That was amazing. Look at that. Pascal is braking. Korev does not have enough time to react and just pushes Pascal out of the way. They both go onto the grass and into the wall.
Well, both of us lost our respective front wings, and I think Korev may... Yeah, Korev is slow now.
Oh yeah, Korev is very slow. He is struggling to keep that car under control without a front wing. It's just understeers all over the place. And he's off the track again and into the wall. He lost a wheel. He's crashed his car.
He's out of the race, and his engine is done as well. I think that's a hefty case of tires done. He's out of it. Joe Gillett is now second, and he doesn't have any damage on his bodywork, does he?
Not that I know of.
I think he's pushing hard.
He does have damage on his bodywork, however, I think he does have some trouble with his suspension. Because the gap between him and the leader is 30 seconds. And it's been 30 seconds for a while now.
4 laps to go now.
Will Gillett be able to catch up to the leader? That's the question. Either way,
with 4 laps to go, he would need about 6... Yeah, make that about 6 seconds a lap. And given the damage to my car, that's possible.
Oh yeah, if he keeps up a good pace and the leader's car being that damaged, Gillett does have a chance to catch up as he is right now. He just shaved off 2 seconds right there. However, that was a very, very unlucky crash for Korev. Kind of looking for it, honestly. Just following way too close and not being able to brake in time and crashing into Mikula's back.
Yeah, I think he just misses braking point. I'm not blaming him. I'm not pointing the finger at him, although he gave me a blind date with the wall, even though I didn't really ask for it. But, it happens. It's so late in the race. The tires are done. I think he just misjudged his braking point.
Oh yeah, the tires being done is another factor for this race. As I've said earlier, we could have seen something interesting happening at the end of the race because people are going to be having worn out tires depending on the setups that they are using. If you have more downforce, your tires are going to be more worn out at the end of the race, which means you're going to be having less grip, which in turn means you're not going to be able to fight as well for a position.
It's 3 laps to go. I think the gap is now down to 16, 17 seconds. What's the lap time say?
I will check that real quick, if I can. Seems like I do not have the lap times available. However, it does seem like Gillett is indeed catching up. Oh, there's the times. Yes, he is about 6 seconds faster than you, Pascal, so he is catching up. He might be catching up to you now, because the leader's time is 1:43.2. The car behind him is 1:34.3, so it is now almost 10 seconds faster. So the damaged nose cone rather, also slow down your car a lot. As you've seen later on with Korev, once he lost his front wing, he was not able to take that corner fast, and he just plowed at full speed into that barrier, smashing his car up and getting him out of the race. And Gillett is cashing in on that crash because he's now pushing the car real hard to catch up to him, with the gap being down to 16.4 seconds. And it was just 30, a handful of laps ago. So
Two laps to go now.
2 laps to go. If he keeps up the 9 seconds pace, if he keeps that up, that would be interesting. That could be interesting because that would mean he's going to catch up to the leader, which means we're going to have another battle on our hands on the very last lap. Yeah, assuming he keeps up that pace, that is. So it's gonna be a really clutch ending for this race if Gillett manages to catch up to Mikula now that he's got a damaged car. Gonna have to wait and see. There's some debris on the grass over there from I'm guessing Korev's car. Looks like a dark gray or black car. Mikula coming up this fast corner, taking it a bit slow, naturally, because it doesn't have a front wing anymore. Second to last corner, onto the straight. Gillett catching up to him. The gap is now just 9 seconds. Oboyski pitting for some reason. Into the start-finish straight. Mikula really taking it slow now. And this should be the last lap. The leader is now on the last lap. Will Gillett be able to do anything? He is now 7.1 seconds behind him. We might see something at the start-finish straight. At the very last moment of this race, we might be able to see something brilliant. Oh, there he is. There's Gillett lurking behind Mikula, a scene all too familiar for the German. Having the Brit just lurking behind him. The gap is now 5.5 seconds. Gillett just trying his best to catch up to Mikula with the little time he's got left. Up into the fast corner. Mikula has to slow down a lot for that one and the next one. Well, Gillett can carry more speed. There he is again. Onto the straight. Will Mikula be able to defend himself without a front wing? Into the second to last corner. The gap is now 3.3 seconds. Gillett is literally just behind Mikula. As they approach the last straight before the final corner. Gillett just catching up to him like a rocket into the last corner. Onto the start-finish straight. Will Gillett be able to do anything about it? He did not. The race is over and Mikula won. Gillett was just this close. 1.1 seconds behind the leader. Almost snatching him away. Almost snatching his position away. That was... Wow, that was insane. Catching up, what was it, like 30 seconds in 4 laps, 6 laps? That was insane. Had he driven any faster, he might have caught up to him and taken his position, meaning Gillett would have won the championship. However, that's not the case, as Pascal has won the race, barely. And now he's won the title. He's won the title. He is now the F5000 champion. Which, as we all know, grants you bragging rights. Here comes Bernardino. The last car on track, 7 laps behind the leader. What an amazing last lap. What an amazing race in general, but that last lap was just Gillett driving like a maniac trying to catch up to Mikula, that was something else. And here's Bernardino across the finish line. And that's it. The race is over. We've got a couple of cars that crashed out and retired. Actually, more than half of them. That would be 5 cars out of 9 that had retired due to, well, crashing, essentially. Actually, tell a lie. One of them got disconnected, but I digress. That was an amazing race. Just wow, the amount of adrenaline in this race was amazing. Just again, that last lap, that Gillett, just magnificent performance from Gillett, catching up to the leader and getting so close to snatching the title. So close, but no cigar. So, Pascal, well, how do you feel about this?
Hold on. Okay. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
How do you feel about this, Pascal? You've won the race with Gillett literally flying like a rocket behind you and closing the gap from 30 seconds to just 1.1 seconds. How do you feel about this race?
Yeah. Look, after what happened a few laps ago with German, again, as I said, not pointing fingers at him, he probably just lost his breaking point a bit. It was pretty heavy hit. It was a pretty heavy hit. I thought I had it in the bag when Joe had his spin or whatever happened where he started losing time like crazy. But when that happened, I was like, oh crap, now Joe's behind me and I may just lose as if I back up too much. The thing is, I wanted to push. The problem with such a heavy hit, it wasn't just the fact I lost my front wing. I didn't just get damage on the suspension. I was afraid I had suffered some sort of engine damage or whatever, so I had to really just back off and short shift and then just be really careful. That's why I was so damn slow. Like I could probably have gone like 2 to 3 seconds faster per lap, but I didn't because I didn't want to blow my engine on the final lap or something like that. So that's kind of what happened. But yeah, 1.1. Can you cut it any closer?
No, I don't think you can.
Like Jesus Christ, that's just we all had some sort of hold on. If Paimon can just mute the game audio because I just closed the server. Yeah, if you couldn't really write the better ending to this one, couldn't you? Yeah, I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. Let's have a look who is in the. Okay.
Oh, you mean who's in the booth with us?
Yeah, no, I.
Why, that's the guy who rear-ended you.
Okay, let's have a normal talk. Okay. So, German Korev. Yeah, you ask the questions. You ask the questions, Lieutenant.
Well, I will. So, German, what happened?
First, I'm sorry, Pascal. I didn't mean to do it. I just lost concentration and the breaking point. Braking is so painful for me, especially on these cars. So, yeah, that's what happened, and I was, oh my god, what did I do? Just, and then in the most hard turn, I just crashed into a wall, and that's all.
You were pretty. You had a spin or something earlier in the race as well, and then you just started catching up. Like you were doing fastest lap and fastest lap after fastest lap.
Yeah, I was going.
How did you do that? How did you do that? Because from what I can tell, it was Gentorame and Gillett and myself were really pushing the whole race. You were just chilling back until you had that spin, and then you decided, I'm going to go fast. Is that is that what happened? Were you just chilling back with us there?
I don't know. I just went faster and faster and faster every lap, and I don't know how it happened. I was just improving. I don't know. I was just improving my time lapse. I don't know how. Maybe I learned some breaking points in the race and some racing lines. I don't just know what to say about this. But I overtook Joe Gillett and Giovanni because they were fighting, and I think they crashed into each other. I don't know what's happened, but I just overtook them because they were really slow.
Okay, well, I wonder if Joe wants to have a little chat with us, because if you have a look, everyone, if you have a look at the F5000 chat, Joe kind of just expressed his emotion there, and I can't help but feel his pain. It's just, you know that to everyone who's watching on YouTube who doesn't know what I'm talking about, that gif of Fernando Alonso at the 2012 Brazilian Grand Prix, where he's just staring out of his helmet in disbelief. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yep, that one. That's Joe. Oh man.
Yeah, it's really disappointing for him.
Very disappointing,
Oh,
because
yeah.
he did have the speed. But yeah, I can just.
It was just so close to overtaking you because you were driving a lot slower than him. Because you have a damaged car, obviously, but it was just not fast enough to catch up to you entirely.
Had he not had that spin or misfortune, whatever happened to him earlier, where he fell half a minute back, he would have easily just taken it, because that was his for taking, and he saw that. I'm pretty sure he saw that, like in the last 3 laps, he was like, hold on, the guy in front of me is just suddenly going very, very slowly. And the guy in front of me is the guy I need to beat in the championship, so let's just go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To be fair, in the first half of a race, he was slow.
Well, yeah, he lost a lot of time after he crashed as well. So that might. But yeah, I mean, in the final lap, like, I had gotten to the final lap, and as I said, I had like engine issues or whatever, or I thought I had like engine problems, because driving that slowly with the engine, it starts to heat up as well. Like, I got into the final lap, I saw Joe 5 seconds behind me, and I just decided, you know what, it's kind of like all or nothing. Like, it's either I start pushing now and I win it, or I don't push now and Joe gets me, or I start pushing now, my engine blows up, and Joe gets me anyway. So it was really just all or nothing. But yeah, we should really kind of get Joe in here, because although I feel like a massive masochist if I get Joe in here.
I mean, where is Joe anyway?
He's still staring out of his visor in disbelief.
He's still just sitting in his car.
He's just, yeah. I think he's
disbelief.
I think he's still thinking, how did I miss that by a second? Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's amazing.
I could win it but I just killed myself. Went down way, and I almost killed you. It's, oh my god, I don't want to talk about this. But
well, yeah, you were in a position to win that, but it was unfortunate. But yeah, with that being said, I think we can close up this championship, this race, and look ahead. But first, There's a lot of chatting going on. So let's have a look at the official results from this race, which I will have a we have to have a look because Jack will read them out, and I'm gonna send him a link for that.
Oh yeah.
So the official results from the Formula 5000 14th race are.
Well, the title of F5000 champion, which also brings bragging rights, goes to you, Pascal. The silver medal goes to Joe, followed by Korolev in third place. Congrats, Korolev. Oboisky in fourth place. Anderson Bernardino in fifth place. Matthew Sibanyoni is sixth. Trentorame is seventh. Lucas Gomez is eighth. And then Steve Velocity in ninth position. So these are the results of the F5000 Championship on CMH.
Oh, that was the final race.
And that was a close one.
Oh yeah, as well.
That was a really close one.
So if you look at it, you can also see like the way the cars were set up. Because if you look at the top speeds, you were very much correct in your assumption, Jack. Because if you look at the top speeds,
oh yeah,
you got if you sort them, German Korev had the highest top speed at 262.8 kilometers
an hour. I can see that. Wow. It's highlighted in red. I cannot miss that.
Giovanni Centorame had 259.5, so he was the second fastest car on the straights. The third fastest car was surprisingly for me personally, Anderson Bernardino at 255.5 kilometers an hour. And then Joe Gillett at 254.9. And then myself, I was only the fifth fastest car as far as top speed was concerned at 254.0. So Joe and myself, we were really set up similarly, as you said.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, So let's have a look at the standings after this race. I need to have a look at the standings channel first of all.
Well, we're not going to be able to see the standings without doing that.
Yes, we're doing that live on air without any whatever. Yes, yours truly has won the championship with 79 points. In front of Joe Gillett, who has taken 12 points plus 56. That is 68 points. He was only missing a single point to be really nice. So it's 79 to 68 to... Wait. How many points does third place get? I completely forgot.
12, I think?
No, 8. 8 points go to German Korev, who finished third, who is classified third, even though he crashed out. Still classified third. What did I say? 8 points?
Yeah.
So that is 47 points for German Korev. Matthew Oboisky gets how many points? Fifth place. 6 points for Matthew Oboisky, so he goes to 11 points and ninth place in the standings. Anderson Bernardino has finished in fifth place, so he gets
4 points.
4 points. That means he gains 20. He gets up to 24 points, solidifying his fifth place in the standings. And sixth place is Matthew Sibanyoni, who gets 2 points, thereby moving up to a total of 5. And equaling Thomas McHugh and Lucas Gomez, who both have 5 points, so he will be tied 12th place in the standings. And that's your final standings after 14 exciting races.
Oh yeah.
At Classic Motorsport Hub with these Formula 5000 cars. I really want to run them again. I really want to. I mean, not just because I won the title, but because these cars are just amazing to drive.
You're kind of making me want to drive one of them too.
Yeah, the only don't you have
as soon as I get a new monitor, I might, yeah.
All right. Jack, let's have a quick look because it's late already. I need to go I have work tomorrow, although I can sleep a little bit more than usual. Let's have a quick look, see at what's coming up at CMH. Next weekend, we go BMW racing. And you are kicking yourself because you don't have a new monitor
yet. Yes, I am.
So it's the penultimate race of the Gold Star Award, where, in case you didn't know, it's also a straight battle between Joe and myself.
Again.
Yes. The 1979 BMW M1 Pro Car Dijon Series round on October 17th. There's still 10 cars available to choose. They're all identical BMW M1s. So you got 450 horsepower, you got no ABS, you got no traction control, you got an absolutely orgasmic 6-cylinder behind you. And yeah, that's that. We still have 10 cars on the entry list. Come join the Classic Motorsport Hub forum at classicmotorsporthub.boards.net. Register for free and just sign up your car because, really, look, it's BMW M1s. Who doesn't like that? Let's get a full field going for this race. 20 cars available in total. 10 are already taken. I think 11 are already taken, actually. So that's 9 cars actually available. Grab them while they're hot. Because they're really hot. Next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Next weekend at CMH. After that, we finish off the second series at CMH, the Nordic Challenge Cup, at Falkenberg in Sweden on October 20th. That is 3 days after the BMW M1 Series race. We go Nordic Challenge Cup racing with Wilmar Johnson currently leading the championship in front of myself, and can't have that. It's the final race of the championship at Falkenberg. No double points. So it's going to just be a straight fight between Sweden and Germany. And then Sweden has the home advantage. So that's October 20th. There's still lots of cars available in the 3-liter and 5-liter class. That series is actually being held on our Discord server. So look in the description for the Discord invite and come join us for that one final race. And finally, the race everyone has been knowing was going to happen, but hasn't been announced yet. The final race of the 2021 CMH season and the final race of the annual Classic Motorsport Hub Gold Star Award. The 1983 Silverstone 1,000-kilometer endurance race. Group C Junior, and Group B sports cars all taking part at Silverstone for 244 laps, or around about 6 hours. It's the final race of our season, November 27th and 28th. So, really, this one happens on the forum as well. The thread for that goes up as soon as the BMW M1 race is complete. So again, get your slot in the CMH forum member list. Make sure you comply with the rules, especially rule number 3. You will know what I mean when you know. And when the entry list opens, take yourself and 1 or 2 pals and sign up for one of the cars. You really don't want to miss it because it's Group C cars at Silverstone. I say it again, who doesn't like that?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be fun. How many cars are there for this race?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me have a quick look at the forum because I have to, well, obviously I have the thread here already. The thing is just that I just looked into the wrong sub forum. There it is. Let's have a look how many cars there are. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cars in the Group C class alone. Then we have 3 cars in the Group C Junior class. And
that's 22.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of Group C Juniors entered in that race. And 7 Group B cars, of which 5 are Porsche 930s.
So that's still 29 cars available.
30.
30, okay.
No, 29, you're right, 29.
Yeah, I told you 29.
Well, your math is better than mine, so
Italian math versus German math, who will win?
So, with that being said, so yeah, 29 cars with, let's say, 2 or 3 drivers per car. I mean, come on, let's go. This is gonna be the grand final send-off of the 2021 CMH season. This is gonna be absolutely, and I'm sorry I have to say this, but this is gonna be Pog.
Oh God.
Yeah, I probably just killed any chance of the race happening. Come on. The thread opens on October 17th. The entry list itself will open on October 24th. You do not want to miss that. Start gathering your friends, your family, your acquaintances, anyone who wants to have a shot at this. Build yourselves a team and enter one of those cars. Of course, you need to make sure you read the rules and whatever. But yeah, this is happening at the end of this year. November 27th, 28th, mark it in your calendar, 1983 Silverstone 1000K. Let's go. With that being said, yes, Paimon, you will have to stream that. Okay. Now, gentlemen, any final words for today?
Well, it was an exciting race. Thank you. It was a good season.
I think I'll agree with that. I'll definitely agree with that.
I wonder why. Could it possibly because you've won?
I'm looking at it from an organizer's standpoint.
Well, I mean, you did win bragging rights. Come on, you can use them.
Yes, I'm gonna go to work tomorrow and flexing my form and be like, I'm the F5000 champion! F yeah!
There we go. That's better.
And I'll call you from the mental institute.
You still have those?
Well, yeah, we do.
Oh boy!
And on that bombshell, we'll see you next week at Dijon. And there was something else I was going to say. Thank you very much to every driver, to all 21 who, well, there were more than 21 individual drivers who took part in Formula 5000 races. But thank you to all of those that showed up. You guys did an absolutely great job to contribute to this entire year, basically. To those that signed up and never showed up, never said a word, whatever, look, we'll have a chat in the back room, won't we?
No.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next weekend. This was Formula 5000 from CMH, and yeah, on that bombshell, good night.
See you at the next race.